Listen, EastEnders fans, welcome to Albert Square After Dark, your weekly EastEnders podcast, where we'll be discussing the episodes that aired between the 12th to the 15th of January 2026. How are you all this week? Hope you're a lot better than I've been. And joining me today is Rob. Hello, Rob. How are
Hello,
you?
Patient Zero. How are you this week?
Everyone give me sympathy,
Just
please.
like the first 30 seconds, make it about you. That's right. What's occurring, Rihanna? Why are you ill?
I need
What's
to,
occurred?
I think. Well, I started, if you remember, it feels like a blur. I had a family member going to hospital, didn't I?
Yes, you did. Yeah. Settle down,
Get rushed
everybody.
in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. And then I've ended up with a throat infection. So
Yes.
that's been great. I'm on antibiotics. I've got throat numbing spray.
So
So
you are basically on a load of drugs. Yeah. That's.
I am, yes, I actually am on a load
And
of drugs this
so it
week.
came to pass. But yes, Rihanna
Prescription,
is not
though.
prescription drug, boring ones.
Yeah.
So yeah, Ree's not very well. So she's pushing through it this week, like the
I am.
pack, like
I
the,
can't
what's the
lie.
war horse. That's the word I was looking for. I was trying to say pack horse. That's the pack. I was thinking of donkey,
I don't
and
think
then got
I've
really
ever been called a
confused.
horse before. I don't know how I feel about that, Rob.
Neither have I, unfortunately. But never mind. Yeah, go on.
Oh, here we go. Always has to low it turn this one, doesn't
It's
he?
all through the
But
floor
yeah,
already.
I am. I was just about to say I'm a little horse as well. So
There you go. You see,
there
you're
we
calling
go.
yourself horse. There we are
Yeah.
then. So well done for pushing through it this week,
Thank
Ree.
you.
Hope you feel
Thank
better
you.
soon. So hello everybody. On to this week's EastEnders. I mean, I think you could have knocked me down with a feather with the twist that we were given this week, couldn't you?
Oh my goodness, I did not see
Didn't
that
see it
coming
coming.
at all. It was
Didn't
such a
see it coming.
surprise.
I mean,
Well, was it supposed to be? Because like it was a very short whodunit, really,
yeah,
to
I
reveal it
just
2 weeks later if it
with
were
a
meant to be a
really
big mystery.
with a really limited amount of suspects for who might have killed
Yeah,
Anthony,
yeah,
and only a couple of which really would have made any sense in the first place.
yeah,
Um, I think Jasmine was going to be the only person it could possibly have been that had killed Anthony, and I don't
yeah.
think that they really tried to hide it all that much either. To be honest with you,
That's what I'm saying. So was it supposed to be a big whodunit anyway? But
well,
then, like, why not just tell us from the start that it was her? Because she pretty much did anyway. So why make us be like,
yeah,
was it? Wasn't it?
I wonder if they actually could have just shown that happening on Christmas Day, and it might have made it feel a little bit more balanced about what was going on Christmas Day, possibly. I don't know.
That is a very good point. And then us just watching Jasmine not saying anything.
Yeah,
Yeah, that actually might have worked a little better now that you say it. To be
because
fair.
now I'm just looking at Jasmine and thinking everything that you've said and done since then, this makes you a psychopath, surely. You know, going around Patrick's house and trying to sort of get in with his family when you know that you're the one that's killed his son. That's a slightly unstable
It
behaviour.
is. I mean, there's a lot to unwrap with Jasmine, isn't there?
A lot to unwrap.
A
We'll get
lot.
to Jasmine in a bit.
Yeah.
Few other things to discuss first. We have Ravi, bless him, is a man whose hair tells us many moods. He's like a
Oh,
chameleon.
doesn't it? Yeah.
And my God, did we get peak Ravi hair this week in proper deranged Ravi mode, right?
It weren't even messy bun. It was full
Oh,
on
full
let
on
your hair
mane.
down.
Mane. We have the mane
It
of Ravi,
was.
yes. So let's crack on with talking about that in this week's Albert Square After Dark. Right, let's crack on this week. We're talking about Ravi and the Panasars and the Gulatis. So Ravi wakes up where he passed out. We've all been there. We've all had a mental night. Wake up surrounded by rubbish bags in a skip or a yard somewhere. I have done this.
Of course you have. That does not surprise me at all.
No memory of who or what I'd been doing, and I had beaten my son up the previous night. We've all been there, yeah.
Yeah, I know. I remember now. You told me at time. Bad times, Rob.
So he wakes up obviously with he's passed out and he can't remember a thing about what happened. His hands are all covered in blood and he's got no battery on his phone whatsoever, which is unfortunate because everybody is trying to get hold of Ravi. He's got about 1,700 missed calls from Priya with increasingly levels of abuse on his voicemail messages. As you can imagine, you know.
It's like what I do to you when you miss your
when
alarm when we're recording.
When I oversleep. It's exactly the same. It's exactly the same. And so he sort of staggers home, not really having any clue what's been going on or why there's nobody at home.
Or why he'd woken up in that position. Because Ravi's not someone who gets in those states anyway. Was he
not really?
Why He'd just
Yeah.
woken up in middle
I
of an
mean,
alleyway.
I mean, considering what he was given, I can kind of imagine that you wouldn't like it would all be some sort of like a nightmare had happened to you or something like that, wouldn't it? Like you
True,
wouldn't
yeah.
really have any. It would be like waking up like in a cold sweat, knowing that you've just had a horrific dream, but you can't remember anything about it.
Yeah, fair enough. You can can't, yeah, I guess if he was still in a bit of a state of not knowing what had gone on, he'd just be like, oh, right, okay, well, I'll
Yeah,
get home then, I
yeah,
guess.
better go
Cool.
home then. At least I know where I am. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
there's the Archer, so I can sort of make my way home from here.
yeah,
Nugget, meanwhile, is in hospital. He's still unconscious. He's still in his coma. He's got a bleed on his brain, and his kidney dialysis issues are making things a bit more complicated as well. So he needs to be taken into surgery. Not
hmm,
good. And Priya is sort of like massively panicking and is trying to get hold
yeah,
of Ravi. Ravi gets home and is immediately sort of accosted by Jack, who's still kind of trying to put pressure on him to be undercover.
yeah.
Who's Delaney? Did I forget something or miss something? Like,
No, I don't know. Is Delaney a police? Was it in reference to a higher police officer than
I
Jack
feel like
or
we had
the
mention of
dodgy
who.
folk?
Yeah, I feel like we had mention of who Delaney was at some point, and I've forgotten who it was. But either way,
Yeah, I agree.
he's supposed to be
With
meeting Delaney,
Delaney.
but he finally gets some charge at his phone and starts getting all of these calls and text messages through, and realize, and a message saying Nugget's in hospital. Where the hell are you, please?
Hmm.
So he sort of abandons Jack and runs to the hospital. I mean, how are you feeling about where sort of what is the end game with the Jack and Ravi aspect of this story? By the way, what do you think?
Well, the only way that Ravi's not going to go down for what he did to Harry and Kojo is if he pulls off whatever this undercover mission is. But are we
Yeah,
going to see a bit of it soon? Because it's all just like, oh, don't forget, you've got that job to do.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'll come with you. And then we never see any part of the
See
job.
what he's actually doing. Like presumably,
Yeah,
the plan is for him to sort of get a load of kind of criminal underworld people.
yeah,
He's supposed to be in those sorts of circles, and then he's supposed to be like grassing them all up, basically, isn't he?
yeah, that's it. He's just basically gathering intel, but and then
Yeah.
telling the police. But is it all gonna? Are we gonna have warehouse shenanigans of some kind?
It feels
Basically, is
like
it
there
all
has to
gonna end
be.
in that?
Yeah, I mean, it
Yeah,
feels like there has to be some sort of warehouse shenanigan, someone being tied up
yeah,
in the back of the car or
yeah.
something at some point, because it's that sort of
Mm,
story with that aspect
yeah,
of it anyway, isn't it?
yeah.
So I don't know.
It can't just be that, oh, Ravi goes off screen, we don't see anything,
Mm.
comes back, and then Jack goes, well, that's Ravi off the hook because he's just snitched on this person, this person, this person.
No,
Hooray!
something
It's
will
not
be
going to be that, is
no,
it?
something will be shown at some
Yeah.
point. So he gets to the hospital
Hmm.
and is told what's happened. As far as everyone knows at this point, Nugget has just been attacked. So it could have been a mugging, it could have been a
Yeah.
racist attack, it could have been
Yeah.
anything at this point,
Hmm.
right? But sort of Ravi starts to put the pieces together from what he's, and then I think he gets like a little sort of mini flashback in his head about
Yeah.
Nish yelling at him.
Nish.
Yeah, and then he starts to slowly put the pieces together,
Mm.
realizes that he attacked someone that he thought was Nish last night, and
Hmm.
then realizes the likelihood is that he probably attacked Nugget. Um, the thing that surprised me here was that he then immediately told Priya
Yeah,
what he thinks
same.
had happened. I thought this was going to be like one of those sort of quite dragged out things where nobody finds out what went on for ages, and then it was all going to come out at some point. But Priya finds out quite quickly. Surprised?
Like, yeah, very surprised.
Yeah.
We said last week, we were like, oh, that's what it'll be. He'll not tell Priya. That's going to be an ongoing secret. That No, none of that
No,
happened. Like, immediately told her.
I'm quite pleased, really. But Priya did react in exactly the way that I thought she was going to, which
Oh,
was for you was
oh.
yeah. Go on.
No, I thought she acted really out of character. Not out of
Oh,
character, but not how I would have expected. Like, if you've just found out that your
mm,
partner has beat your kid up to the point that they've been in hospital and had to have like
yeah.
surgery, I would not react that way.
No, but I see. I thought what she was going to do was exactly what she did do, which was like at first, like
Yeah,
go mad at him for a bit and be like, "You're an idiot. You're insane. How could you do that?" Etc. 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 And then once you start to put the pieces together about the fact that he was spiked and that it wasn't
yeah,
necessarily his fault that he ended up in that state, she would completely side with him because ultimately she's already done the anger at him about what Ravi did to Harry and Kojo. So she's got nothing to sort of be re-angry about there. So
Oh,
this
see,
their punishment is just is like I think I completely and utterly expected her to be on Ravi's side throughout the whole thing.
she was like you say, she did react angrily at first, but I do think that we could have still done with maybe one scene of her saying, it was your fault, Ravi, because of what you did to Harry and Kerja. I know you're saying that she's already done all of that. I get
Yeah,
it.
that's what I mean. It feels
But
like
for
repetitive otherwise.
now, for yeah, but for me, I think that we could have done with that because I
Mm.
actually thought some of it were a bit too like she'd forgiven him too quickly and had his
It's the
back.
state.
I
It's the
do
fate.
get it, but
Yeah, it's the state that he's in because of it, though, that I think sort of prevents her from doing that. Because yeah, I think she's angry and I think she's furious about the fact that she's had to lie to the police about it because the police come round and are starting to like talk to people, and Priya
yeah,
essentially has to barefaced lie and say that I'm assuming saying that Ravi was with her or whatever, and I think he will get his kind of anger from her about that, I think. But in terms of the actual event, I think she reacted the way I expected her to, in terms of she was shocked, she was upset, she's terrified for Nugget, and she's angry at him for putting him in there. But at the same time, I think she realizes that it wasn't something that he would have done in his right mind whatsoever. So
yeah, true. It does show that she knows Ravi really well and knows that
yeah.
he would never in a million years have done it deliberately.
Mm.
And so, yeah, she can see that obviously he was spiked as well. I think she knows him well enough because for me, I know that Ravi's a drug dealer and everything, but we've never got the impression that he actually takes the drugs either. Have
No,
we?
I don't think so. Actually, no. I mean, I think,
Oh,
I
did he go
think
through a
when
phase once,
when they
maybe?
first met, I think that would have been that was how they
Yeah.
met, wasn't it? Like
Yeah,
via,
yeah.
I
Years
can
ago.
you can
Yeah.
sort of imagine them meeting almost in the same way that Phil and Rainey met at some point, like
Yeah.
both in
Maybe,
some
yeah,
sort of
yeah.
darkened room, off their
Yeah.
faces on something, and
Yeah.
then they sort of kind of formed a
Hmm.
relationship from there. And then Ravi sort of went off and started being a dealer, and Priya kind of continued being addicted
Hmm.
to drugs. By the way,
Yeah.
I am just as a side note, I am very surprised that we've not had Priya sort of go down, kind of falling off the wagon when it all comes to that sort of thing. I feel like it's a story that she'll get one day.
Perhaps, but I feel like maybe Priya's come far enough that they don't ever need
Mm.
to go down that route with her, to be fair, because she was a lot younger and she's had two kids since, and I think they've helped keep her on the straight and narrow with it.
Yeah,
I don't
but
know.
then it takes a few Albert Square events to put anybody in terrible territory,
Well,
though, doesn't it?
actually, saying that, what happened for the reason that Ravi got Nugget in the first place, I guess, because he
Mm.
didn't even know about Avani all those years
No,
somehow, did he?
no.
So, but no, you're right. They could go down that
One
route, and it
day it
wouldn't
might
be
happen.
unbelievable. Yeah, yeah.
Nugget comes around and
Mm.
he's going to be fine, as we kind of predicted.
We
Nugget's
knew, yeah,
fine. Well,
yeah,
in terms of physically, he's going to be okay. Whether
yeah,
mentally he's going to
yeah,
be okay is a different matter altogether.
yeah,
And I kind of feel there's some interest. Before we get onto Ravi being deranged and going mad with his baseball bat, little thing on Nugget, right? So there was a
yeah.
moment in the hospital this week where him and Priya were playing chess of all things. Never had Priya down as a chess player.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Imagine Priya
Yeah,
as just like this grand chess master. He taught everybody in the
sure,
family how to play chess. Fine,
sure. You never
fine.
know.
There was a moment where, I mean, Nugget is sat there, kind of worried that Ravi isn't there, and is sort of he senses that Ravi's ashamed of him for not putting up enough of a fight when he was attacked and
Yeah.
all that kind of thing. And this isn't new areas for Nugget. We've seen Nugget kind of suffer with really bad self-confidence anyway.
Mhm.
Thinking back to the whole steroid thing where he was literally just doing that to
Low
sort of
self-esteem.
low self-esteem. He's got low self-esteem. We've seen that before with Nugget. And the whole sort of him wanting Ravi to be proud of him, we've seen that before. There was just a line this week that kind of, and I'm not saying this is where it's going at all right, but it's
Okay.
just something that made me wonder, oh, okay. Was a line that he was talking about, how he obviously hadn't fought back or anything like that. And he said his exact line was something like, and I didn't I just took all those punches like a, and then his voice sort of trailed off, and he looked sort of a bit nervous, as though he'd almost said something that he didn't want to say, and then sort of reverted back to Ravi just being ashamed of him, right?
Oh, okay.
And so I kind of wonder, and I've kind of thought that this might be an interesting way to take Nugget anyway, and this week sort of maybe kind of added fuel to that in my head, was that I wonder if there is a story where Nugget is questioning his sexuality. Bearing in mind that he has been surrounded by so much toxic masculinity in his life, with Ranveer, with Nish, with Ravi. These are all men that don't have the most healthiest attitudes towards masculinity, okay?
Yeah.
And with Nugget being so he's idolized all of those men at some point in his life, and all of them have
Yeah.
turned out to be bad eggs. And it kind of makes me wonder what exactly Nugget believes a proper man should be like. And so in terms of if he was to then start questioning his sexuality, I think what we would have is somebody who is incredibly internally homophobic.
What Nugget is
Yeah, yeah.
because he
Like,
because he's yeah
don't
yeah
get me wrong, I feel like Ravi would be a difficult person to come out to anyway. We've seen previously that Ravi isn't exactly the most liberal of people.
that's true.
You know how
When
he was when
Zach
Zach and
yeah
all that kind of thing.
yeah
So it
that
kind of
felt
makes
out of character though at the time.
I
To be
didn't think
fair,
so at all,
oh
to be
no, you
fair.
didn't, did you? And I
No.
did. I
Yeah.
thought it did.
I don't know. I don't know. What do you think? I mean,
I didn't.
I'm not
I'll
saying
be
this is where
honest.
it's. I'm not saying
I
this is
didn't
where it's
get that
going at all.
impression. I didn't get that impression at all watching the scene. Could it be an interesting direction to take Nugget? Yeah, I don't see why not. I've never got that impression though, that they were going to go in that way with Nugget, but there's
I
nothing to
mean,
say that they couldn't either because I don't think they've explored either
the most
avenue
we've
enough for us to say definitely.
the most we've seen with Nugget in terms of who he fancies is a little bit sort of like he's like tried to chat up girls and it's gone wrong and
Yeah,
he's not had a lot of response, and that was
yeah,
sort of like the initial sort of pathway to him feeling really low on self-confidence, and what sort of led him to wanting to take steroids and starting trying to appear to be a bit more beefed up and everything
yeah.
like that. But I don't know, there's just something about Nugget's story that would lend itself quite well to a story like that, I think. Um,
I see. I don't think like for me, but I could be being incredibly naive. So please tell me if I
mm.
am. But would it
You're being really
be?
naive, Ree. Can you stop, please? There you go.
But do you think that he would? Oh, well, you've just said it. Actually, you think that he'd struggle to come out to somebody like Ravi being his dad, but obviously he's got Suki
Yeah, but
and his
that's very
family
different
and
to
Eve
that's
and
very different to internalized homophobia.
right. So you mean almost like denial?
Yeah, it's very. I think someone who is internally homophobic could be someone who isn't bothered about anybody else's like
Yeah,
choices whatsoever. Well, choices, you know what I mean by that. But in terms of
yeah,
lifestyle and anything like that, they
yeah,
couldn't
yeah,
care less about any member of the family that's going through it, that's
yeah.
happy and in a gay relationship or whatever. That's them. However, in terms of how
Admitting it
you
about
yeah,
yourself.
and in terms of how you want to see yourself, and then how in terms that you want someone like your father, who is a very sort of macho, masculine.
A bit like Ben and Phil.
It kind of, yeah. I mean, I don't think that Ravi would be quite as bad as Phil,
No.
but at the same time, I feel like that is certainly how Nugget would perceive it to be. I don't know.
Priya would love it, to
Oh,
be
Priya would
fair.
absolutely. Priya would be all like. So would Ivani. To be fair, she'd be all over
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
But
yeah.
like I say, I don't know if that is where the story's
Yeah.
going. But it's just sort of. It kind of
See,
makes me
and
wonder
I'd
with Nugget, because I think there's a lot of
it
potential with Nugget as a character.
there I agree because of his family dynamics that he's
Yeah,
had.
and
But
that's
it'd also
huge.
kind of be nice to see that actually you don't need to it'd be nice for Nugget to represent that you don't need to be this big macho guy to
Mm,
still be masculine as well and to
mm,
maybe not go down that route just to be
yeah,
devil's advocate on it. It
yeah.
could also be nice to go, well, do you know what? You can be, a sensitive
Mm,
guy and still
mm.
be masculine. Not to say
Yeah,
that if
it
he
could
was
just be that. It could a
not to say
hundred
that he
percent.
wouldn't be
No,
masculine either, but do you know what I'm trying to say?
it
I
could
hope
a
everyone else
hundred.
does.
I could. You sound really homophobic, Ree, to be honest.
Digging a hole here.
Um, no, it could 100% just be that,
Yeah.
all right. But it's
Yeah.
just like that. The way I think maybe it was the way that the line was constructed and the way that it was delivered kind of just made me think that there was slightly more to it than
I know what
just
you're saying though,
that.
because when you consider all the steroid stuff as well, he's certainly got low self-esteem. Like
Yeah,
he's certainly got, like you say, confidence issues. So is it
yeah.
down to that,
It would
or
be
is it like,
purely,
like you say, just the toxic
yeah.
masculine role models that he's had?
I reckon so, because if you think about who he has idolized,
Yeah.
and like I say, I think it would be purely internal mostly, because like you
He
say,
started going a bit niche at one point, didn't he? Do you
this is what I
remember?
mean, but this is what I mean. Like he goes down these pathways of like wanting to sort of mirror these men that
Hmm.
he has had bringing him up and these men that he's supposed to idolize. Because bear in mind also, the Panasars have always been a family of you are supposed to respect me. I am the person that you're supposed to respect. Those sorts of hierarchies in the family.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that also lends itself to producing someone like Nugget, who is all of a sudden sort of like almost like deer in headlights when it comes to what his role in the family is supposed to be. And I feel like anything that would derail that again would really knock him
Bless him.
sideways.
He's
So,
big brother. I don't think Nugget gives himself enough credit. When Varney's in it, he's always
oh,
got her
he's
back, and
there,
he's
yeah,
always sticking
yeah,
up for her.
yeah,
And it's always different when something happens to you. Nugget, It's always different when something happens to yourself. All right,
Yeah,
love.
100%. Yeah,
You're
oh,
always
bless him.
there for your sister. Don't
Just
worry.
want to
You're a
hug
good
him,
big
bless him.
brother.
Poor
That's your
Nugget.
role, love.
So I guess we'll see. Either way, I
Yeah.
think it's going to be interesting to sort of study Ravi and Nugget's relationship going forward from this when he inevitably finds out exactly what happened.
Maybe Nugget will actually help Ravi learn that that isn't the way that you need to go about. And actually, it'll be
Maybe,
Ravi who learns something from it all.
maybe, maybe we shall see.
You're adamant, aren't you, Rob? I can
I'm
see it
not
in your
adamant. No,
face.
I wouldn't say I'm adamant. I wouldn't use the A word
Okay.
on
All
this.
right.
I
We're not
just
going there.
think, put it like this: it's what I'd do if I was on the writers' team. I'd put that for. I would
And
pitch
I'd,
that story. That's the word that
and I think it'd
Chris
have a lot of
Crenshaw
merit,
taught
to be
us.
fair. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think it'd have a lot of merit.
I would pitch that story is what I would do. Anyway, so Ravi kind of starts to put the pieces together about what happened that night and lets his hair down massively. He really does. And he goes insane. He picks up a baseball bat. He locked Priya in the flat to stop him from stopping him and storms around
That
to the
was a bit
Mitchells.
harsh, locking her in flat. Also, sorry, I know I'm being panicky, but like, why
No,
could she
you
not get
never.
out? Why
Because
couldn't
he'd
she get
locked the
out
door.
though?
Because he'd locked the
Yeah,
door.
but you can. Does she
Apparently
not have a
not.
key?
Apparently not. Maybe he took the key.
All right, fair. That
Because
explains it straight away. All right,
that's
I'll have
how he
that.
locks the door from the outside, really. That's how
Yeah,
keys
okay.
work.
I don't know why I was like, well, it's obviously a Yale lock. She can just
What
open it. But
is
yeah,
in this throat spray that you've been taking? Who
that's not
knows?
the only thing. It's a mixture. No, I'm
Throat
joking.
spray. Anyway, so yeah, Priya's locked in the flat, and Ravi storms around to the Mitchells with a baseball bat and goes mad. I loved Nicola's response to it. Like he starts smashing up the pictures. Oh, go on then, break that one. I'd never liked that one. Yeah,
I
winding him
think she'll
up.
tell it truth as well. I
I
think
think she
she'll
was.
actually like, yeah,
Please
go on.
break
I hate
that.
them.
Please
Yeah,
break that. It really annoys me,
yeah.
and I hate that it exists. Please break that. And yeah, Ravi's going mad. Do you think that he was going to just kill somebody if he hadn't been stopped? Seen it happen before.
Potentially with the way that he were,
Yeah,
with the way that he was feeling, yeah. I would.
the way that
Do
his
you know
hair
what
was.
though? Honestly, but I was thinking, do you think he would have gone for Nicola? Like, would he beat up a woman?
I think
Has
he
he
beat
been
up
known
that
to do
one.
that before?
I think he beat up that one.
At what point is there a line though? Do you know what I mean? Like, then he goes, well,
I don't.
actually, you caused me to injure my
Yeah,
son, so it's
if
okay for me
he
to
you
harm a
put you
woman.
made me put my son in a coma. At what point does the gender roles come into that in terms of the punishment? Do you know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah, again, he didn't do it though. But
no,
then
he didn't
again, I
do it.
guess we have got this bad side to Ravi, haven't we? As we've
He's a bad
seen.
boy, and his hair was down. I think
I
we need
think he would
to.
have gone for Harry. I
Oh
think
yeah,
he
well
would
he
have gone
did
for
go for
Harry,
Harry.
but maybe
He
not Nicola.
he did go for Harry. To be fair, I think we need to learn from here on in that if Ravi's hair is down, anything is possible. I think it's like that. Yeah, so Nicola sort of does a sneaky phone call to George, who kind of overhears what's going on, and runs across to the house. Meanwhile, Ivani comes home and lets Priya out, who quickly runs over to the Mitchells as well, and both of them together sort of stop Ravi from doing
Yeah.
something that's going to land him in prison. Um, and they end up having a scuffle, in which point I think a glass table or something gets broken, which embeds some glass into the side of Ravi. Noted, because
Yes.
later on he's on his own in the bedroom and notices these shards of glass in himself, and he starts self-harming with them, basically, doesn't he?
Yeah, I was confused by that, but I think that is
So
what
were
he
a
was
lot of
doing.
people. So were a lot of people. I saw this online.
Yeah.
I thought it was quite clear what he was doing, but a load of people were really confused about what was going on.
I didn't know if he were just like checking his wound and like being like, oh, that hurts. Oh, that
No,
hurts.
I
Or was he
think
deliberately doing it
yeah,
as like
yeah,
punishing
yeah.
himself
That's
and
what.
trying to
Yeah,
hurt himself?
yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think that's what was
Yeah.
happening. Yeah, that's how I read it. Anyway,
Do
straight
you,
away.
so did he still have shards of glass in him? Has he just shoved them inside himself more or
I
something?
don't know.
Has he gone that far?
I go very queasy with stuff like this. I don't
Oh,
know.
sorry. Well,
I feel like maybe he just. I think he pulled it out. I think maybe he would have pulled them out, but sort of like done it slowly so that he then got the pain from it more, so to speak. I
we've never
think
s- we've never seen a self-harming thing with Ravi before, have we?
not with Ravi. No, no.
No.
Kind of had it with
Interesting.
we kind of had it with Max at one point. Yeah, so this is kind of really pushing in on Ravi's mental health now. I don't know whether we're still quite in, redeemable territory for what he did yet.
Well, this is it. Is this another way to get us to feel sorry for him so that we'll then, go, oh, it's all right. Well, to be fair, I kind of thought that this with Nugget is supposed to make us
The
think that they're all
punishment.
equal now. And this is
I
it.
I
And then
feel
it'll
like
all be over.
Yeah, I feel like in terms of the Mitchell Galati war,
Yeah,
you would think that a ceasefire should now take place because, right,
yeah,
okay, we've both done something insane to each other's families. Let's leave it there before this gets any worse. Yeah,
yeah.
but hey, it's
Mm.
both Nicola and Ravi are not ones to back down easily. So who knows if that's over just
Well,
yet?
well, let's
Well,
not forget Priya noticed, and I'm sorry to discredit Priya on this one, but I don't think she was a genius to figure out that Nicola was pregnant when she held her stomach. Yeah, when Ravi
yes,
went for her, and she's like,
yes,
"Ravi, of course, I
yeah.
know what a mum looks like.
Yeah, they
She's
grab their
pregnant."
stomachs all the time.
Yeah,
That's what pregnant
if they think
women
they're about to
do.
get beaten
Yeah,
up,
yeah, yeah.
So, do you think that Ravi? Even though Priya said, "Look, come on, another innocent kid would have got hurt there," or do
Mm.
you think Ravi thought, "Go on then, why not? Because my
I
kid's been hurt,
No, I
tit for
don't think so.
tat."
I
You
don't
don't
think so
reckon?
because no, because also I think Ravi will at least have the mindset of, well, I did start this. I don't think that she's going to do
True,
that.
because he has been somewhat accountable previously, hasn't he?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he'd do that. No, I
Even
really
though
really
Nugget's
don't.
been this badly injured from it all,
Nugget's okay though. Do you know what I mean? Like Nugget is in
he'll pull
terms of
through.
he'll pull through, so it's not like anyone's died at this point. So I
Mm,
mean, yeah, if Nugget had died, then all cards off
yeah.
the table. Do you know what I mean? But I feel like it's just about kind of kept itself within some level of let's pause it here now, okay, before things get too
Okay.
crazy. I don't know.
I think they
If he
should
lets
have
his
a
hair down again,
ceasefire
who
personally.
knows?
There is that. So,
Mm,
do you think that Nicola, when we first found out about Nicola being pregnant,
mm.
you were like, this pregnancy is not going to like
I
see
mean,
the end date? Do you
oh,
reckon? Or I
I
think
mean, I
she
don't
can have it
know.
now.
Well, I don't know because fast forward to New Year's Day 2027. She still
Mm,
appears to be with George, by the way.
yeah.
So, this appears to be in the early days of George and Nicola getting together.
So
I'm
here for
covering
it,
now.
by the
Yeah, I
way.
mean, I think it totally works.
Absolutely love those two.
Yeah, totally works. But
Works.
I mean, we
Yeah.
didn't have any sort of confirmation either way of what went on there.
No.
So
I mean,
I
she was
don't know.
obviously not pregnant because she wouldn't be anyway at
But
that point.
having not having the baby next to her is hardly kind of out there for an EastEnders character not to have their child next to them when they're in a
Yeah.
scene. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it could be
Yeah.
the child could be anywhere at this point, or
Yeah.
just
Could have
not
been with
mentioned.
Gina,
Yeah, it could have been
Harry,
anywhere.
Barney.
Yeah.
Yeah. The two,
So
Yeah, so you reckon? So do you think that she's going to go full
I don't
term,
know.
or
I don't
do you think
know.
something's going to happen in between?
It's possible. I've said all along that I don't think Nicola leads the sort of life where labour is easy. But
No.
I don't know. I don't know. That's what I would say. I
Yeah,
don't
fair
know at
enough.
this
I'm not
point.
sure
I don't
either.
think we have enough information yet.
I don't think Nicola and George like from literally like a storyline and
Mm.
plotline perspective. I don't think they need the baby to make the relationship work. But
No.
also equally, if something did happen to the child, it could bring them closer, I
I see now.
guess.
Interesting there because I would have said I don't know whether that would bring them closer if anything did go wrong.
Oh, you
Yeah,
reckon? What do you think? George would
George
blame
would stand. Yeah,
her or something?
George would stand by her, but I feel like Nicola would push him
Hmm.
away. So
Interesting. Oh, and see, I think that George really softens her, and I think that she'd just collapse on him.
maybe.
She might push him away at first,
Mm,
unless she had something to hide, and then I think that she'd just go, "Oh no, George," because she
maybe.
seems to have that dynamic with him.
We'll see. But yeah, some interesting stuff here this week. I'm very intrigued to sort of see where the Nugget and Ravi stuff is going, particularly. And just how whether we get to see Ravi with his hair down again, because anything can happen when Ravi's got his hair down. But I feel like at the moment the war between Nicola and Ravi might be done for now. But at the same time, I don't feel like it would take much to start it up again. So, continuing on from the arrival of B last week. So, she is now obviously staying at the hotel boutique.
Boutique
And
hotel.
the boutique hotel, and Linda is offering to go and get the rest of B's things from,
Hmm.
as it turns out, a flatmate. So
Yes.
you're right. I don't know.
I said landlord. I
Yeah,
didn't get the vibe that they were a couple.
I don't
Yeah.
know. It's just the way that he chucked her out. It was sort of like I felt like that was the thing that only sort of partners would do to one another. But I guess flatmate works. You can imagine, given the situation, then that maybe she's like, not paid him rent in months and
Yeah,
months and
she's
months, and he's
yeah,
had to, yeah,
and bills, and it's just not
yeah.
paid a share all this time and come up with excuse after excuse. But did you find it interesting that this is the idea that we've got from that? Because surely what else would it be? She's been sponging off him, right?
Mm.
Let's call it that. And then when she had that little conversation with Penny, she was like, "Oh well, I got my what's it called, colour theory. Oh, I got it all done in. Oh, I've heard all about it. I don't know
Oh, well, I
when.
thought this right your sort of thing. Explain color theory to me because I've never heard of this before.
Oh, so basically, you get different colours,
Yeah.
and basically it matches against like your skin tone, your eye colour, your hair colour, and so you've got like cool spring, warm summer, like cool winter, and it's like
Right.
different shades of blue. Well, all of the colours. Be here all
Uh-huh.
day saying them all.
Right.
And then it tells you which colour palettes suit your skin tone, your hair, your
Ah,
eyes,
okay.
like specifically to you. Anyway, I've never had it done. I'd love to. But if
Of course
anyone
you
knows how
would.
to do it to me,
Oh,
please.
get in touch with Ravi.
You
There
can
you
do
go.
them. No, you can do them online, but I don't know.
Uh,
Anyway, um, B had hers done in South Korea, she said.
of
So I'm
course she
like, how
did.
did she end up in South Korea? But then she's got kicked out by a flatmate. We're presuming, though, that it's because she's not been paying away. Is it that? She
Well,
seems to get herself about a bit, even if she's not.
it feels she seems. I'm kind of starting to get the vibe that she's one of these that has been from kind of done quite a lot of sofa surfing, and
Yes.
she's outstayed her welcome at every single one of those
Yeah.
sofas,
Yeah.
and she's her friends kind of list is ever so quickly dwindling to the point where she's now ended up being stuck at the hotel boutique with Linda of all people, who she probably had never even given a second thought to for the majority of her life since school.
Yeah.
Also, there was a moment this week when she went on the, in inverted commas, date with Max,
Yeah.
where when he left her and she kind of stared after him. There's something in me that kind of wonders whether this woman is categorically insane. I'm getting that
Yeah,
vibe off
there's
her.
there's
Like Bunny Boiler
something
slightly.
not like what, sorry?
Bunny Boiler slightly.
Yeah, definitely. She was clinging on a lot to this date that she thought she had
Yeah.
with Max, weren't she? Bless her.
Like she walked in on him in the shower, and all of a sudden she's like, you can see
She's
that
like, oh,
she's planning the kids' names and everything in her head just from
so
that.
I've not seen one of those in years. That's what she was like, weren't she?
I know how she
Yeah.
feels. I know how she feels.
And she shouldn't have been going on about it though to everyone. Like it was pretty
This
embarrassing.
is
Although I must also say I thought that Elaine had got them all their own private en suites. That's what she kept bragging about.
yeah, well, apparently not because the lock is broken and that's how. But then,
Yeah,
to be fair, I wouldn't be surprised if B broke the lock.
that's true. Yeah, maybe if
She
she'd already
gets.
seen
I don't
Max and
know.
wanted.
I'm
Yeah,
not
I know
getting a
what you
great
mean.
vibe.
No,
I'm really
I'm not
not.
getting a good vibe.
But is she? We need to kind of consider the fact that she might be the pregnant lady in the bed next year.
She could well be. She could well be. Be, eh?
It doesn't, eh? It doesn't take Max much. Let's be real here.
Or that he somehow ended up getting engaged to her. That'd be quite Max, I
Yeah,
guess.
I
Although
can
he
see
looked
that.
like he was looking forward to his wedding. I don't feel like
Yeah, no. Well, so far he's not particularly enamoured with B whatsoever, is he?
you never know though. Like it could all turn around and maybe he'll,
Well,
humour her. I don't know.
Well, Max is the only reason that they end up going on this date is because Max is doing something for Linda,
Mm.
who I don't know. I mean, the whole Max and Linda thing, it does seem that Linda is just trying to be nice to him, and Max is getting a load of like heavy feelings because of that. It doesn't take much for Max to fall in love with people. I don't know if Linda would feel the same way. I don't know. I'm not convinced
I
by
don't
that
know.
yet.
I think they could work. To be fair.
I don't know about work. I mean, it's Max was pretty much the catalyst for everything that went wrong with her and Mick. So I don't know if she would go back there again. I really don't.
Yeah, true, but Linda also was a part of it, so to just blame
Drunk,
him
yeah.
solely. Yeah, but still, it takes two to tango,
It
Robert. Let me
does. There was a
remind
lot of,
you.
it does. There was a lot of tangoing going on, but
There was a
I
lot of
don't know.
tangoing and a lot of wine to be had
Mm,
back then.
mm.
Um, I don't know. I feel like I'm more positive about Max than you, and I don't know
It's
what this
it's not that
is.
well, it's not. I don't know. Just in terms of Linda, I feel like
Yeah,
I feel like Max is feeling a lot heavier towards her than Linda could ever be. Is what I'm saying.
yeah. She'd never be. He would never be the love of her life. That's
No,
always been
never in
Mick.
a million
But vice
years.
versa. I mean, then arguably it could be Linda is getting married to. Forget that it's New Year's Day,
Mm,
right? Forget that it's New Year's Day. Do you think that they could potentially get married?
no,
Any... Having said that, she didn't get married to Mick in all those years. Why would she just
no,
suddenly
that's
get
true.
married to
Yeah,
Max in
that's
like what within a year?
on the day that she got married to Mick. That's the thing.
Yeah,
That's
to
the
be
one.
fair,
That is singularly the thing that makes me think that it's
I
not
know,
Linda at all.
I
Because I
know.
do not believe in any universe that Linda would marry somebody else. Never mind just Max. Would
You
marry
just
anybody else on the same day.
would anybody
No.
do that though?
Why
To be
would you
fair,
marry somebody on the same day that you got
you
married to
widowed
to
from
your
your
ex-husband?
partner.
No,
Yeah,
no
you
one
wouldn't,
is
would
doing
you?
that.
You're
No
right.
one. No one is
You're
doing
right. You
that.
heard it here first. Rob's sometimes right.
That I
Okay.
am adamant about. Yeah, adamant. No one would
Oh, you're
do
gonna be eating
that.
your words though, January
Uh,
27 if it happens.
I can't wait. So yeah, that's going on.
Yeah.
And so yeah, Max kind of takes B out. He's supposed to be taking her
Hmm.
shopping, but then they end up going for a drink together, and then he has
Hmm.
to make a hasty exit because he
Oh
has
yeah.
kind of agreed. Well, kind of. I say agreed. He wanted to be there anyway. Oscar and Lauren have decided to do a sort of almost memorial meal thing for Abby. I'm not entirely sure
Yeah.
what exactly the memorial side of things was meant to be, because in the end, it just turned out to be a few of the Brannings in the kitchen having a cuppa and just sort of discussing Abby
I
with a bit of
think they
cake.
had been near the grave or something. I think a memorial doesn't have to be this big event like a wake, though. I think a
Yeah.
memorial is whatever you make it to be. We're
Well,
going to spend some time together remembering Abby. I think that's what it was.
Oscar did throw another sort of maybe into the mix this week when he said that Max would have an affair even with the cake. And that does open up the possibility that we could be going into, that Netflix series, Real or Cake. That pregnant lady next to Max
Oh
could
my
be cake.
goodness. I wondered where you were going with that.
Could be,
I thought you were going to say Marie because she
Yeah,
made the
no,
cake or
no.
something. No, no, no. The
Real or
cake.
cake,
Hey,
real or cake. It's a thing.
why
It's a
not?
thing.
Hey.
It could, you never know. You never know.
Do you right,
Go
go
on.
on. I
Yeah,
was
go
just
on.
gonna say though, right. I personally, and maybe I'm gonna be eating my words this time next year, but I think Max is genuinely trying quite hard with everyone to the point that he's people pleasing so much that it's backfiring on him. Like
Mm.
he's like he's trying to please everyone because he's trying to make so much of an effort that he's like, oh, I forgot I'd already promised them that. Oh no, oh,
Yeah,
I've double booked. How do I get out of it? I can't possibly tell the truth because then everyone will say, you're a failure. You're always doing this. You're letting me
mm.
down. Because that is, to be fair, what people do to him.
I just think that yes, I feel like he is genuine in trying to want to repair things. No argument there. But I just feel like he gets so easily kind of pulled away from what he's supposed to be doing in terms of what the right thing is to do. Whether that be, a woman that he finds attractive, or whether that be an opportunity to make money, or whether that be, anything. Anything is can very easily steer him down the wrong path. And the problem with him is that he'll do that and then lie about it, and then that's how people constantly feel like he's letting them down.
Yeah, he's not good at being accountable, is he? Because
No,
then it's like he has to admit that he's failed at something, which
yeah,
he's not very good at.
even that whole thing with the cake thing this week, which dropped on the floor when he had a little scuffle with Cindy. Quite liked, what are you doing here? Shouldn't you be guarding Hades?
Who
I
said
quite like
that?
that. So Cindy, Max said that to Cindy.
Ah, right. I totally missed that bit.
I
Sorry.
thought you might have done. Yeah, and so he ends up having a little scuffle with Cindy, and the cake gets dropped on the floor, which then ends up which then ends up on the kitchen table anyway. So they picked that up and ate it anyway.
But also, like all of that, oh, now we can't come because can't even get the cake right. That was blatantly Cindy's fault.
Yeah, yeah,
And yet there they are blaming Max, which is what he's saying. I get blamed for everything, even if I
yeah.
hadn't done it. It's like fair.
Mm.
I don't know. I think everyone's right harsh on him. I mean, I know he's got history. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah,
but
this is the thing. If it was just this on its own, I don't think that he would
yeah,
have like so
but
much drama. But
I
it's all
credit
the
where
history.
credit's due as well, though. I feel like he's really obviously trying, which I think Linda can see. In fairness,
Yeah,
out of everybody there, she is the only one who seems to be able to see that he's really trying.
but it's not even the first time since he's been back that we've heard, "Oh, I want to change. Oh, I want to try and do things differently. It's not my fault." You know what I mean? And so that's years and years and years and years of
I
repeated
know.
behavior. So it gets to a
Yeah,
point where it's
true.
like, why the hell would this time be any different?
I know. I just, I guess they don't see it all though, do we? Like we're being shown that, oh, actually, he only went with B to try and help Linda out. When,
Yeah,
although having said that, he should have just said no to that.
he
He
should
should
have
have
done.
just
Yeah.
told Linda and
But
said,
even
I
that
can't.
is very Mac's way of dealing with things because
Mm.
he's thinking with his trousers again. Like ultimately his end game there for helping B is to try and woo Linda, I think. So even then
Oh, right, I see. Yeah,
he's not
yeah.
doing things
Yeah,
from a
true.
noble perspective, is he? You know, if this
Oh,
was
see,
a
I don't know. I thought he was trying to just help Linda
nah.
out, though, actually.
Oh, again, both though. Like I
But
feel
yeah,
like
no, you're right, because ultimately that is what he wants. Yeah,
mm,
you are. You've got a point.
it's
Yeah, all right.
always to do with sex with Max. If
Well,
he
you know
thinks that
what?
the
When
end
you're an
result,
addict, Rob.
yeah, if he thinks that the end result would be him getting his end away, he will do anything.
All right. But he's still trying, bless him.
He's very
Oh,
trying. Go
I
on.
mean, he made a speech for Abby, a brilliant speech.
Via AI.
That was genius.
Do you know what? When Oscar was reading that out, I was like, that's AI. He's
Did you
got
actually
that
think it straight away?
100%. Yeah, 100%. He's typed that into Chat GPT and has got that from it because he wanted it to sound as perfect as possible. And
Yeah,
that's
fair
and
enough.
100% I knew that that was AI the second he started reading it. Yeah. Yeah.
I loved how they were. I loved how when Oscar were reading it, he was like, "Oh, Lauren, it's double
It's
sided.
double-sided.
Come
He's
on."
written a lot here. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. Is Max fixable from this point onwards? I mean, New Year's Day 2027 would suggest not. I don't think
That's
we've had
true.
it. I don't think we've had any real clues yet as to how we end up there. The only real suspect for who anybody might be, any of the mysterious people might be at this point, is B. And I still can't see B still being here in a year. I don't get that vibes off of as a character. I don't know. What do you think?
No, I know what you mean. I'm not sure either, but it depends where the take be. Have you seen the theories speculating online, by the way, that she's actually the sister of somebody already on the square?
No, I hadn't. Who do they think he is? She is rather.
But people are saying that they think that she's like Honey's long lost sister. Have you not
Why would
seen this?
no? Why would she be Honey's long lost?
Yeah,
Wouldn't
yeah.
Honey recognise her? Don't know.
Well, long lost.
Has Honey got a long lost sister?
Not that I'm aware of, but apparently this is a big theory. Everyone's
I
like,
really hadn't seen this at
I've
all.
seen it. I've seen it a few times.
Huh?
Yeah, that she's Honey's long lost sister. You know, because of the similarity, and that's why they were so similar, and that's why they had the same handbag. I
Oh,
don't believe
okay,
this, by the way.
okay.
I would not want it to go down that route.
But if it does go down
However, I
that
do
route, we
see that
saw
there
that.
are. Well, look, there's a lot of people who are saying that their characters are quite similar, and she's
I
quite
said
similar
that
to
last
how
week. Yeah,
Honey first came in. But
yeah,
I do feel like there's a bit of a darker side to be than there
yeah.
is to Honey.
100%. Like, I think
Yeah,
she's insane.
yeah,
I think
I
she's going to
agree.
turn out to be an absolute nut job in the end. So
Yeah,
it's
I think she's gonna really take the mick with Linda
yeah,
because Elaine's seen right through it straight away,
yeah,
hasn't she?
100%. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Elaine's like,
no,
because you're gonna be here for 2 minutes, aren't you? Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Like
Max is going flat on him. Go join him, B. I love how upfront she
she
is.
doesn't care.
Saying,
She
drinks
does
are
not
not on
care.
the house for
No,
you, B. Ah.
drinks are, but you pay double for drinks. Ah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can't see her still being here in maybe 6 months' time, but who knows? We have got a year-long mystery ahead of us, so anything could happen basically.
She might disappear.
She
She
might.
might stay for 6 months, disappear, and come back and be
I
pregnant.
can't even. I don't know if I can even imagine Max wanting to sleep with her at this point. But then again, if Max ends up being rejected by
As
his
if you're
family
saying
again for
that about
something,
Max, you must really think that there's something bad about B.
well, I just don't like. He's shown no
I know
interest.
what
Do you
you
know what I
mean.
mean?
Yeah.
For even Max to turn around
Mm.
to, she's not unattractive, but
No, no.
for even Max to turn around and be like, "Yeah, all right, thanks,"
Yeah.
then I don't know. But I guess we'll
Yeah.
see. I guess we'll see.
Mm.
Right, ladies and gents, final section of the storyline discussion would be the absolutely cataclysmic shock that Jasmine was the killer of Anthony. So, the mystery whodunit of the century was solved this week. I mean, you could have knocked me down with a feather, honestly. I'm shocked. Now,
So shocked.
I mean, now come on. Christmas Day, you didn't think that it was going to be Jasmine, though, did you? You had Chrissy, you had Tommy, you had like everybody
On
else.
Yeah, but can I be honest with you? That's because I was just like trying to chuck
You
out who
expected more of
could
the
be a
mystery. Yeah,
suspect.
you're expecting
Yeah,
more of the mystery.
yeah,
The only reason that I ever sort of wobbled from the idea that it might be Jasmine
yeah,
was because they were just doing nothing to hide that it was Jasmine. So I was
yeah. I
like,
know
well,
what you're saying.
clearly then maybe it's not them because they want us to
Yeah.
think that it is. But no, it really is.
I didn't see it. You're right. I did not see it on Christmas Day when you told me that. But then as soon as you said it, I was like, yeah, that makes total sense. It
Well,
weren't like a big shock.
the only thing that I got wrong, it would seem, was that she did it with the scarf that Chrissy gave her.
The murder
Which
weapon,
which I
yes.
think might have been I think that would have been neat myself, but you know, what do I know? But I mean I'm not quite sure what she did do it with. It looked like a
An
boob had rolled
ornament of some
I mean it looked like
kind.
a boob had rolled across the floor or something
A
when she
boob?
well, it looked like a boob. It rolled across the floor. It was like a boob shaped implement or something. I don't know what it was, but either way,
You never know. A cat
you
might
never
have
know.
something like that, an ornament like that knocking around. Who
I wouldn't put it
knows?
past her. Wouldn't put it past her. So, I mean, we'll get to all that in a minute, but basically, Anthony's body is ready to be released to the family. The funeral can now happen, and Patrick is preparing to say goodbye to his second son that he's had to bury. Um, and Yolanda's almost kind of trying to push him towards the whole kind of feeling of you really should sort of bring Jasmine in. Let's get to know Jasmine. She is your granddaughter. Let's repair that, and maybe something good can come out of all this vileness. Which I can
Yeah.
see. I can see that
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
he would want to do that. But Jasmine is basically a bit of a mess this week, isn't she?
Yes. Not just a little bit, yeah. Which made you even more like it would definitely Jasmine then,
Yeah, I
wouldn't
mean,
it? It almost confirmed
guilt.
it in the build up. Yeah.
And it was just all the guilt. I mean, it does make sense because it was the only thing that did make sense for it to be Jasmine.
Yeah.
Even looking back as to when Kat told her that Anthony was her dad and she went outside and screamed into the night.
Did the
It
Slater scream
did
that
the
apparently
Slater
all the
screams.
Slaters do?
That's definitely a thing. Well, you know what else the Slaters do? When they get pissed on a night
Yes.
out, they come back on a
Yeah.
home on a milk float. That's what they do.
Yeah. What
I
did you
didn't.
think to that?
I didn't hate that. I thought that was fine. I know I saw some people were like, "Oh, that didn't work," and I was like, "Well, it was all right. I didn't hate it.
It felt. I'm not gonna lie. I thought it were a bit try hard,
I
but
didn't
I
at
think
all."
that's. But I think
But
that's because it's coupled with everything else that the key. I think they've tried so hard to show all these traits of hers that she's got from the Slaters,
mm,
and then from Anthony as well this week. That maybe if the milk flirt had been kind of done on its own, without all these other little traits that they're trying to fit in, it wouldn't
mm,
have felt too as try hard. But I feel
mm,
like they're just constantly trying to show all these traits that she's got from both the Slaters and from Anthony, and I was just like, oh, they were a
I
bit,
don't know.
yeah.
I don't know. I didn't
I
mind
didn't, I
it.
didn't hate it, but I did feel like it was a bit try hard. Yeah, not
I
gonna
don't know.
lie.
Maybe I didn't mind it
Also,
as much,
who
but
even has a milk? Who has a milkman deliver
well,
anyway like that anymore, other
I
than
say
modern
this every
milkmen?
single I say this every single time that a milk float appears on any show ever.
Yeah,
They must still be a thing. They must be. But I
there's
don't.
modern milkmen that you have an app for. Costs a fortune as well. I mean,
What's that?
other milk people are probably available, by the way.
What do you mean milk app? What does that do?
It's an app where you can get your milk delivered. I got it done for my nan. I used to get
I've
it done for my
never
nan.
heard of this.
Yeah, you get delivered in the bottles.
I mean, I just do what everybody else does, I thought, and because I live around the corner from a supermarket, so I just buy my
But
milk from there.
this is the thing, Rob. The supermarkets put all the milk people out of trade, didn't they?
True, true. There you
Hey,
go. So if
not
anything,
on Albert
what?
Square though.
No, if anything, Jasmine is keeping the trade going.
Yeah, all
She's
right, fair enough.
keeping that
Somewhat.
float, going to Albert
I
Square
don't
and
know.
keeping the milk.
She
Although she
smashed the
smashed a
milk
bottle,
bottle
she
though.
did smash a bottle, so maybe not.
Yeah,
But anyway, she is.
yeah,
I mean, I don't know. There was some nice stuff with it in terms of like the whole rum thing. Even though like she gave
yeah.
Patrick a bottle of rum that even just by looking at it, I was sort of like, well, that's not Patrick's rum for a
It was
start.
white rum
It
for
was
a
white rum.
start.
Like Patrick never drunk white rum in his entire
No,
life. That's not happened. But I
no,
quite
definitely
liked
not.
the fact that Patrick was then prepared to say, "I'll teach you rum. Don't you worry about."
Yeah, a rum masterclass.
Yeah, which I liked. Do you know what I mean?
I'd love
So
that from Patrick.
I know if there's any expert on rum in the
Yeah,
entirety of television, it
yeah.
would be Patrick Truman, wouldn't it?
I bet he likes a really nice spiced rum.
Yeah. I
Mm,
don't like
I
rum
like
myself.
spiced
I'm
rum.
not a rum
I
drinker.
love spiced rum.
Do
I only
you?
like
I
spiced
can't.
rum. Yeah,
I
yeah.
did one night on it once, and I did not feel well the
Was
next
it with
day.
me?
It possibly could have been
I
with you,
think it was,
probably,
you know.
probably, and I wasn't well the next day, so I think it kind of put
It
me
is
off it.
quite sugary, to be fair, spiced rum.
Yeah,
I would
yeah,
probably drank it with Kurt. I feel like you were with me. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, anyway,
probably,
I do love it
probably.
anyway. Sorry, we
Anyway,
digress.
yeah. So All that I quite liked. But Jasmine kind of just keeps getting messier and messier and messier this week. Even when Patrick is giving her that rum lesson, she's
Yeah.
supposed to be looking after Charlie upstairs. Now, what do you think of this bit? Because I actually thought that Lily was well out of order.
Yeah, I think she was well out of order.
Well out of order. What's her fault?
For, for one, right? I just wouldn't have left Charlie with her. I'd have been like, if you want to help me, why don't you go to the
Yeah, yeah,
shop and get the things for me? That's
yeah,
that's number one what I would have done anyway. But yeah, she was well out of order. Like she's never looked after her before anyway. I don't think Lily should have asked her if she didn't think that she'd know exactly what to do.
mm,
You need a better baby monitor anyway, Lily.
yeah,
If it's going to break like that and batteries are going to come out that easily when you're
yeah,
leaving a monitor next to a kid, so
yeah.
actually question that yourself.
Mm.
Yeah, there was no need for her to shout like she did. I kind of get it though with Lily because she kind of blames Jasmine for Jean going off and then she was probably quite stressed in that moment because you would be
Yeah,
upset
but
that your
if
kid
you
had been left on their own crying and were wet through.
Yeah,
So
but at the
in the
same time,
moment,
if you hold that against Jasmine anyway, why are you leaving your kid in her
I
care?
agree. I agree. I would think the first thing to say is you should have never left her with her, to be
Yeah,
quite
I
honest.
honestly
You
thought
don't know her
Lily.
well enough. You don't
Yeah,
trust her,
I
clearly.
didn't. I didn't blame Jasmine for any of that. I thought Lily was well
No.
out of order, and when Jasmine went out and nearly went to punch her, which I assume was supposed to be a sign of "oh look, dark Jasmine," where I was sort of like,
Oh, and
no,
I thought
actually,
it was like,
I
oh
see
look,
that.
she flips like Anthony does
Yeah,
really
whereas I
quickly.
saw that as total as oh look at that, totally in order, Jasmine. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, did
Like,
you? You like,
yeah,
yeah, you're asking for it, Lily.
yeah,
No, I don't think. I think in that moment, Lily was so very apparently in the wrong
yeah.
that Jasmine could have just sat there and remained the calm. She's a bit older as well. I
True.
think. I think in
Maybe.
that moment, we're trying to show she didn't need to react like that. It was very
Yeah.
apparent that
I
Lily
don't
was
know though.
going
Like,
over the top.
Lily sat there going, "This is why everyone hates you. This is why you shouldn't be here." It was like, why? Because a baby monitor broke, Lily. Come on, get a grip, love.
Well, do you know what, though, Rob? I can't wait for Jean to come back and find out that she was right.
Right, all
She
along.
said about Jasmine.
Yeah. Yeah.
She figured it out, to
Oh,
be fair to her.
she probably turn around and be like, "Well, I don't need this medication. I was absolutely right."
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, mad.
Even the devil part, actually, if we're
Yeah,
going
not
there.
far off, apparently. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So the way it all gets revealed is that Jasmine eventually sort of comes around to the idea of going with the Trumans to go and sort of see Anthony's body. We
Mhm.
see Anthony again one last time, sort of lying in his coffin, looking fabulous.
Confirmed that he is dead on
Confirmed that
screen, so
he's
he'll definitely
definitely
not be
dead.
coming back.
Although we had that with Ronnie, so let's not close any
Yeah,
doors there.
but that doesn't count,
That
Rob.
doesn't count. That doesn't
We know
count.
that doesn't
Nah,
count.
that doesn't count. And Jasmine kind of says, "Can I have a minute alone with him, just so I can confess everything to his dead body and show him this film that I made of him?" And it
This really
turns out
incriminating
it's
video that I've
really
got on my
incriminating
phone
video where at one point I kill somebody and then turn the camera around to look at
onto my
myself.
face. So
She
she's not going to be here with us for long, is she,
I
Jasmine?
mean, this is a shelf life, right?
Yeah.
She's not going to be here come January 2027, surely. Which then automatically begs the question, well, who the hell is Oscar with?
Well, could it be one of Anthony's sons?
Well, the
Because
whole
they're
thing,
Trumans as well.
they are, but I didn't get the sense that they were that old.
Oh, I thought they were
Because,
potentially a bit
no,
older.
because
Oh, fair. I didn't think of that.
Sophie's banned them from going to the funeral, hasn't she? And I feel like
Oh,
if you were
yeah, so
over
if
the
they
age
were
of
older.
18, yeah, you'd be like, sod
Yeah,
off, mother, I'll go and bury my father, thanks very
that's
much, you know?
true. Yeah, good
So,
point.
yeah, I don't think that it's going to be that. So that either means that the reveal of it. Either Jasmine's not going to go down for it because maybe they'll argue self-defense because she walked. It basically played out exactly the way I thought it had. That she went upstairs maybe to talk to Zoe and confess everything, and then saw Anthony attacking her, and then kind of just did it in to save Zoe. And then made
Yeah,
sure that she was definitely in
and
camera to make sure that
herself.
we knew it was her. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So
Because he went for her, didn't he, when he turned
how
round?
nuts! Like, what is Anthony? What was
He
Anthony by the
wasn't, they
end?
weren't, I'm sorry, I feel like they should have maybe written that we were in the middle of a psychotic
Yeah,
episode
it
because
would have
this is
made more
not the Anthony
sense.
that we've ever
No,
known.
in any universe,
Bizarre,
none of this was
bizarre way
Anthony.
to have took
Really
Anthony.
weird.
Yeah.
Really weird.
He wouldn't just
Um,
turn like that on a young girl like that.
well, especially
So,
he wouldn't turn from whacking one woman around the head to then automatically
yeah,
turn around and attacking another. It was madness.
yeah, it was. Yeah, not. it's not worked with Anthony, has it?
I don't
Anyway, he's
know.
gone now, so I guess we
Anyway,
don't
he's
need to worry
definitely gone,
about
so we're never going to get any answers as to why any of that happened. But there we
no,
go.
no.
So yeah, and then Jasmine kind of helpfully tells us everything and tells Anthony to rot in hell, and then that's the final duff of the week. So
Mhm.
yes, Jasmine was the one that killed Anthony. So where does this go from here? Like, what happens? There's now a
Well, this is
very,
it.
very incriminating piece of footage on her phone, which I'm presuming is going to be what gets her caught. But
Yeah, because surely otherwise she could have just done all of that by saying what had happened to him and we could have heard her retelling everything that happened. Or is it just so that we could see that it was self-defense? I don't know, but the fact that she's got a video showing everything that
mm,
happened sounds to me like she's going to have to go down for it because she's got evidence, right?
I mean, how
But then
much do you
why
get
is
for
she not trying to get
self-defense?
Zoe out? Hmm?
Would you? I mean, how much do you get for self-defense?
Well, I guess she should be getting perverting the courts of justice as well,
Yeah,
right?
true,
Because
true.
she's not admitted to anything. I think that'd be more. Would it be manslaughter? Self defense?
I don't know. It's um yeah, maybe. It's just yeah, I mean everything needs to be rightened here, doesn't it? So
Or
and
do
I
you
feel
think
like
she will just get away with it?
well, I feel like she feels no, because for a start, I feel like she's reacting too badly for any of this to be able to sort of settle with her. This isn't the way that she acted this week would not suggest to me somebody who is capable of keeping this a secret for very much longer.
Yeah,
You
true,
know,
true.
especially if Zoe is going to be sent down for it and she is what I feel like maybe the funeral it might come out or something.
Possibly,
Because that's always a
possibly.
good time, isn't it? When there's loads of people
Yeah,
there and you're watching somebody that you killed being put into the ground. I think maybe that's kind of quite sobering and is enough to slap you
yeah,
around the face and make you realise, no,
possibly.
this is wrong. I need to confess everything. Maybe.
She doesn't. I mean, she doesn't seem. It doesn't feel like she feels guilty about killing Anthony, like towards him. But the
No.
guilt comes out when she's with the Trumans and the people who are like
Yeah, affected by
grieving
it.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, maybe you're right with the funeral. It might be the
Mm.
guilt that she feels being around all the family, or maybe she just won't go potentially.
Well, I don't think she'll want to go originally, and then I think maybe
Mm,
she'll get persuaded to go, like she did with
mm,
going to see his body this week.
true. What did you think to that, by the way? Did you think Chelsea was like? I thought she were a bit out of order, to be honest, in
Did
some
you?
ways with her.
Why?
A little bit. Just she was just like a bit harsh and like, oh, last thing Patrick needs is you being drunk and blah blah blah.
No,
And I
I
just
didn't
thought
think.
she is going through it a bit
Yeah,
though.
but
Come
why is she
on.
going through it? Do you know what I mean? Bear in mind what we know. It's
Yeah, all right, but Chelsea doesn't know that, and she's just
exactly
seeing this
so
young kid who's grieving her
kicking off.
dad.
Yeah, but she
But
what
I
she's
would have just
also
maybe said, I would have maybe just been a bit kinder and been like, "Come on, let me take you to a cafe. Let's
yeah,
get a
but
coffee down you," and then maybe, you know.
she in Chelsea's mind, she's also making Patrick's grief worse.
True, yeah, she's yeah, very true. And he's not getting much younger, bless him. So I guess, yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Like, I think she's got certainly her immediate family. Yeah,
Mm,
she's just discovered this girl that's apparently in some way related to her. You know, whether that be
yeah,
indirectly as
yeah, yeah,
in the way that the Truman Foxes
yeah,
work.
yeah.
But you know, it's I feel like she's certainly not going to put Jasmine high on the priority list in terms of how she speaks to her via Patrick. So
Yeah, fair enough.
I don't know.
But still.
So I guess we'll see how that all plays out. But yeah, in
Mm.
terms of like earth-shattering twists, it wasn't that twisty, I didn't think, to the point where I'm not sure whether it was even supposed to be a twist, and we maybe just sort of
Well, like we said, do you think maybe they should have just shown it then on Christmas Day?
maybe because it was
Might have because
yeah.
I've not
I think
really seen anyone speculating about who killed him. It's been a bit like there aren't
yeah,
really. You've not given us any suspects really.
no. So there you go. So we'll see how it plays out. Gold star this week, Ray.
Oh, do you know what?
What?
I'm gonna give it Max.
Max, fair play.
Mm,
I mean, I might have to just give it to Ravi again. I did enjoy Ravi this week.
I
Yeah.
was tempted with Ravi again, but yeah, all right, yeah,
There you go.
fine.
Max and Ravi for Gold Stars this week. Let us know who your Gold Stars are going to. And as usual, we should finish the podcast with some comments from you.
We've got a comment from Annalise Bazaar who says, WTF with all the Jasmine here. I want to see more of her. Writing her off as a killer that must be written out is ridiculous. So many people in the square are killed for much worse reasons. Her video shows it was a self-defense strikeout, manslaughter at worst, not murder. I'm wondering what will bring her to Zoe's defense. She's a confused, angry kid with a temper, not evil.
Well, I mean, in terms of why she did it, it's kind of exactly the same reason that Linda killed Keanu in a way, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
self-defense. You're trying to save someone else's life. Linda got away with
yeah,
it, so technically, why shouldn't Jasmine? But then I think that they're also trying to suggest a level of sinisterness to Jasmine, which kind of gives her that shelf
yeah.
life. I don't know.
They do keep implying this, but I agree with Annalise that actually she's an angry kid with a temper and not
Yeah.
evil. But are we going to hear about other things from her past? Is that yet to come? And a
Well,
foster adopted mom,
you
or
know, I'm kind of taken back to what adopted mum said about her, saying that she
yeah,
definitely had a dark side, that she came from dodgy backgrounds and all of that kind of thing. So I feel like we should learn some more about what Jasmine was doing before she came onto the square,
yeah,
and that might give us a little bit more texture to why she is the way she is.
yeah,
I feel like, you know, Annalise says what with all the Jasmine hate. You know, I think that's more to do with the fact that maybe people haven't necessarily sort of gelled with the story as a whole. You know, the whole Zoe thing and everything like that. I think people aren't clinging onto that as something
yeah,
they're massively enjoying at the
mm,
moment. So anything that's associated with it kind of
yeah,
gets tarred with the same sort of
yeah,
dislike. You know what I mean? Whereas I
yeah,
quite like Jasmine as a character. I think she's interesting. I feel like, and whilst it also feels like this was the only way this storyline was going to go in terms of who killed Anthony, I feel like. I don't know whether I necessarily need her to leave because of it, but it feels like that's the only thing she can do.
I like her with Oscar as well. I think her and
Yeah,
Oscar work really well together. I think it'd be a shame if she left.
yeah,
But my only thinking, she's got this video, she's got hard evidence that she did it.
yeah.
If she, even if they say, right, it was self-defense and manslaughter, she'd surely get sentenced anyway. So
Mm,
the only way she could get out of it is if they somehow managed to pin it on Chrissy, is what I'm thinking.
mm,
Do you think
maybe.
that might be how they get around it?
Oh, unless the plan is just to give, like, unless she has got a shelf life and she is going to go to prison for it eventually. But then that does open up a whole load of other questions about where we
Mm.
are on New Year's Day as well. So
Yeah, very true.
I don't know. Stin Bry has said Jasmine has genuine potential, but making her a killer is an incredibly heavy narrative choice for a character who's still developing. With how much effort EastEnders appears to be putting into her, it suggests they want her to be a long-term presence, something that doesn't quite align with such a defining, limiting storyline.
Yeah,
I think that's
absolutely. Why put all this time into us trying to get to know her? But
yeah,
I also think that's kind of why people, at the same time, people feel like they don't quite know her, and it's because she was never that open about who she was
mm,
from the start. Now we've got that. Now's the time to really delve into a character, not get
yeah.
rid of her,
It's
because we
just
know enough to be invested in her now.
yeah. I feel like there's a lot of dislike to her. Just like I say, within association with what the main story is,
Mm,
because I've seen people like comparing her to Haley and how Haley was like rammed down our throats for an entire year, and I don't see that they're
yeah.
the same thing at all.
Yeah, no, I don't see that. And I like to say I really like her with Oscar. So you've got the Jasmine stuff away from the Slaters
Yeah,
as well
yeah.
with Oscar. And arguably even with the Trumans, once they all get over the fact that she actually killed Anthony.
Which
That might be
is
nice.
bound to happen.
That little thing,
Yeah, they'll get
Yeah,
over
but
that.
to be fair, like I even think, yeah, sure, that'd be a huge shock for like Patrick and Yolandi to
Mm,
see. But I think if they actually watched that footage, they'd be like, I
mm,
mean, what
yeah,
else could you have done? He would come in there, weren't
yeah.
he?
I mean,
So unlike Anthony.
I know, I know, I know. That's
So
the thing that
bizarre, but
really, really kind of
mm,
irks at me. But in terms of like, do you think that Jasmine deserves to go to prison for what she did to Anthony? Is the main question here.
I don't. Do
You
you?
don't.
No.
I mean, I guess not, because she, like I say, she went upstairs and like with Zoe's kind of best interest in mind at that point,
Yeah.
and feels like she probably saved Zoe's life in a way.
And her
So,
own, because he
and
did
her
look
own,
like he were
yeah.
coming for her.
So in terms of
Really.
that was self-defense, really, wasn't it?
I mean, if we're talking real life, I might be saying something different, but in terms of
Yeah,
EastEnders,
yeah.
no, a
People.
little bit of killing,
Oh, please, people are out of prison for far worse than that. So,
Exactly.
hey,
And finally, we've got a comment here from Declan Walton who says, maybe I'm too much of an empath, but I feel so bad for B. I think she's just been dealt a bad hand in life. Maybe this is how people who liked Reese to begin with felt.
oh, see now that we can relate to. So is this the? Is that why we were so kind of with Reese at the start? Because we're just empathetic. We're empathetic. We're empaths to the ninth degree. Yeah.
Yeah, it must be Rob. Yeah,
Yeah.
not that he just completely pulled wool over his eyes at
No.
all.
And also, I mean, maybe Declan's right, but I don't see anything other than certifiably insanity with with B, with you as well, but with B as well,
Excuse me.
whatsoever. Yeah,
Freudian slip up.
with either of you whatsoever. But there you go. There you go. Right, ladies and gents, that's it for this week. Don't forget, you can watch our award show for 2025, which is coming out on Sunday, so you can enjoy that. And in the meantime, if you'd like to get in touch with us, you can do the following.
You can find us on Facebook at Albert Square After Dark, on Twitter and Instagram at E20 After Dark. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe. You can listen to us on Apple and wherever you find your podcasts. Drop us an email at e20afterdarkpodcasts@gmail.com. And if you'd like to buy us a coffee, you can do so by going on buymeacoffee.com/E20 After Dark.
Yes, you can indeed. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for listening. We shall be back same time next week, and the award show will be out on
And Sunday.
Sunday. On Sunday. So there we go. Until then, it's goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
See you later. Goodbye.
Bye.